Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking Pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings Girls game. And now, Viking Pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN-TV studios. Rick Olson here, and tonight the 11-4 Viking girls are getting ready to do battle in the Dun St. Croix Conference as they take on the 6-10 Boyceville Bulldogs, who are currently sitting at 2-7 in the Dun St. Croix Conference. Coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Bulldogs and the Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Serrar's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll send it out to Boyceville High School, where we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school girls basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh. No, you can't.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's girls basketball game as the Colfax Vikings prepare to attempt to snap their two-game losing streak against the Boyceville Bulldogs. The 11-4 Vikings, who are 6-2 in the Dun St. Croix Conference, are looking to stay within reach of the conference race and get back on the winning track following Tuesday's 48-43 overtime defeat at the hands of the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. Now, in that loss to the Panthers, the Vikings got off to a good start, building a 10-point lead in the first half, only to have a scrappy Durand, Arkansas team battle back and tie the game and send it into overtime. The Panthers dominated the overtime period, outscoring the Vikings 5-0 to secure the 48-43 win. Leading the way for the Vikings was the performance of 5'7" junior McKenna Shipman, who hit on 6 out of 12 field goal attempts, and 2 of which were three-pointers. She also went 3 for 4 from the free throw line for 17 points. 5'9" senior Ainsley Olson followed by nailing 5 of 13 field goals, including a three-pointer, and 1 for 3 from the charity stripe for 12 points. And Jada Anderson sunk 2 field goals, 1 of which was a three-pointer, and went 2 for 2 from the free throw line for 7 points. Now on the boards, 5'10" junior Jeanette Hajdukovic led the way, grabbing 10 rebounds, while Olson pulled down another 8. Autumn Nigaman and Anderson captured 6 and 5 respectively. So far on the season, leading the way for the Vikings in scoring is Shipman, who's shooting 43% from the floor and also hitting on 33% of her three-point attempts, while shooting 68% from the free throw line, as she's scoring just over 17 points per game. She's followed by Olson, who's averaging over 6 points per game, and Hajdukovic, who's right at 6 points per game. Leading the way on the boards this season is Shipman, who is averaging over 7 rebounds per game, while Hajdukovic is grabbing 5.5, and Olson is pulling down over 5 rebounds per game. The Boyceville Bulldogs are currently 6-10 on the season and 2-7 in the Dun St. Croix Conference. The Bulldogs last saw action on Tuesday when they were defeated by the Spring Valley Cardinals in a heartbreaker, 32-31. Look for senior Rachel Montgomery to lead the Bulldogs in scoring, as she's averaging just over 11 points per game. She's followed by junior Hannah Dunn, who's putting up 8 points per game, while Sarah Stovern and Haley Hainstead are each adding 6. On the boards, Montgomery leads the way for the Bulldogs, pulling down around 7.5 rebounds per game. Also making her presence known under the basket is Stovern, who grabs nearly 5 boards per game. Thus far this season, The Bulldogs are scoring an average of 37 points per game while giving up 47. On the other hand, the Vikings are averaging 51 points per game while giving up 40. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Courtney Serrar on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Soon the weather will change and you'll be able to breathe in the clean fresh air of spring. And you know what comes right along with that. That's right, it will be time for Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball. Follow the Cavaliers all season long right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN-TV. Be sure to check out our website at www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for our current broadcast schedule.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Well, today on Coach's Corner, we have a little change for you. We are today talking with girls Vikings assistant coach Carly Kittleson. Coach, back on Tuesday, the Vikings dropped a decision to the Durand, Arkansas Panthers in overtime, 48-43. Your thoughts about that game?
I thought, we played great defense for the majority of the game. The last 6 minutes of the game, I would say, was pretty crucial. We had some turnovers. I think we had like 3 in a row that did hurt us. They executed on those turnovers. They made some shots and we didn't. And it's hard, when you don't score in an overtime. And, we got to learn from it and move on and correct some of those mistakes, especially in big games like that. So
it almost seemed like the girls, there was a turnover and then they pushed a little harder to try to make up for that, and that only made problems worse, and it's almost like it became a snowball on them.
Yeah, a little bit, and that's our first game this year that's went like that, so there's going to be a lot of learning happening there, and I'm confident that we'll move forward from that and definitely learn some things. And, I do think that was a game, though, when things weren't really going our way, we kept our composure. We didn't seem to panic like we've seen a little bit in some of our games this season, because the game of basketball, it's not always going to go the way you want it. But how you handle it and move on from there is key. So, I was proud with their composure, and, we had some good team leaders, rallying and calling, the group together to calm down, and, and that's what you have to see. So
now that game puts the Vikings in an unusual situation of dealing with a 2-game losing streak. What are some things the Vikings need to do to turn things around?
We got to focus on playing Colfax basketball and, control what we can control. And that's how we play and do things. We've had a great couple good days of practice, to regroup and get back on track. Going to Boyceville tonight, that's what we're hoping to do. And that's going to be our focus. You're right, is to get back in that winning column. And, that's what our intentions are for tonight. So.
Well, today, the Vikings, as you mentioned, are going to try to get back on the winning track. It is a Dunn St. Croix conference game as they take on the 6-10 Boyceville Bulldogs. What can you tell us about the Bulldogs?
They run a really good continuity offense that has a lot of back screens, very similar to years ago when it was ran there.
You would know about that.
Absolutely, but it's a great offense. Back screens are tough. So, we focused the last couple of days at practice defensively on how to guard that, defend it. Some keys tonight are going to be team defense is definitely going to have to be there, and communication, because you have to tell your teammate a screen is coming. So that's what we're kind of looking for. So back on December
13th, the Vikings defeated the Bulldogs 59-21. What do you expect to see different from the Bulldogs from the last time the two teams met?
As the season goes on, it's, no surprise. Everyone gets a little bit better each day. I mean, that's your goal. They were missing a player last time we played them. Sarah Stovern was not playing. She was injured. I'm assuming she's back in the lineup tonight. Hannah Dunn seems to have stepped up, her game a little bit and been making some shots. And Rachel Montgomery definitely, can put the ball in the hoop. So, we just got to play Colfax basketball and play our way. And like I said earlier, control what we can control. So,
well, sounds like a fun night of basketball. So, Coach Kittleson, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully, the Vikings can snap that current losing streak and get back on the winning track.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. The 11-4 Vikings are looking to remain in striking distance of the lead in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference, as well as snap their current two-game losing streak. Meanwhile, the Boyceville Bulldogs are looking to stay relevant in conference play. These two teams met back on December 13th, with the Vikings coming out on top in that game, 59-21. And the Bulldogs would love to get a little payback tonight. So the stage is set for some exciting girls high school basketball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. So in just a moment, we'll send it out to Boyceville High School, where our broadcast crew will bring you all the action of tonight's girls' game between the Colfax Vikings and the Boyceville Bulldogs. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 are proud to announce that this spring they will be your viewing home for Eau Claire Cowboys football. Check out www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for times and dates. That's Eau Claire Cowboy football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Colfax Viking basketball is on the air.
And the long pass down and in by Hajdukovic.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV proudly presents tonight's Colfax Viking girls varsity basketball game.
Long pass down the floor to Olsen. She stops, puts it up, she hit it!
Join us as we head out to the gym for tonight's Viking basketball.
Let's gets it over to the left side to Shipman, three-pointer. She hit it! McKenna Shipman with the three puts the Vikings on top, 3-2.
Based interscholastic events. Request your cooperation by
And welcome to Boyceville High School. Rick Olson along with Lynn Nigaman and Cassie Johnson-Nelson on the camera. And we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's game between the Colfax Vikings and the Boyceville Bulldogs. And we got here just in time for the playing of our national anthem, and we're going to send it right down to the scores table for that right now.
To honor America and for those defending our freedom, we ask those who are able to please stand, remove your hats, and place your hand over your heart for the playing of the national anthem. Thank you. Welcome to tonight's conference matchup between the Colfax Vikings and your Boyceville Bulldogs. We also welcome all our Bulldog alumni, and you'll be honored at halftime tonight. And now our starting lineups, beginning with the visitors from Colfax, the Vikings. Number 10, senior Molly Hyder. Number 14, senior Ainsley Olsen. Number 32, junior Jada Anderson. Number 40, junior Jeanette Hydukovich. And number 42, junior McKenna Shipman. The Vikings are coached by Cody Summer and assisted by Carly Kittleson. And now, the starting lineup for your Boyceville Bulldogs. Number 15, senior Rachel Montgomery. Number 20, senior Haley Hannison. Number 22, senior Camry Reismer. Number 23, junior Hannah Dunn. And number 25, junior Sarah Stover. The Bulldogs are coached by Jay Lager.
And so there's your starting lineups. Very nicely presented by the public address system. And going through those real quickly again for the Boyceville Bulldogs, Rachel Montgomery, Haley Hainstead, Carrie Reismer, Hannah Dunn, and Sarah Stoveren. And for the Vikings, it will be Molly Hyder and Ainsley Olsen, Jada Anderson, Jeanette Hydukovich, and McKenna Shipman. Hydukovich jumping center tonight for the Vikings, and she's going up against Rachel Montgomery. Ball goes up, and it gets tipped away. Olsen gets it down to Shipman, who lays it up and in, and the Vikings go on top right away. And Boyceville brings it back down the floor under full court pressure by the Vikings. They get it into the forecourt. This is Hainstead between the circles. Takes it over to the right side. Still on the dribble, over to the free throw line. Gets it back out to Montgomery. Over to the left side. Now down underneath the Montgomery, tries to put a shot up, gets blocked out of bounds. It'll be Boyceville ball. Dunn to inbound, gets it into Montgomery, ball gets knocked away, Dunn gets it, tries to go up with a shot, goes in, ties the game at 2. Hydorn with it for the Vikings coming back down the floor. She takes it between the circles, looks over to the right side, they feed it down underneath the Hydukovich, who lays it up and in. Jeanette Hydukovich with 2. Vikings still with that full court pressure. Stoveren with it, gets it into the forecourt. Montgomery Back out high to Stover and puts up the shot from 3. No. Rebound, fought for underneath, and we're going to get a jump ball called. Montgomery and Olsen were fighting for it, and they got it all tied up. Possession arrow in favor of the Bulldogs. Ball comes into Montgomery. Takes it into the lane. Gets it out to Hainstead. She takes it out to the top of the key, over to the left side now to, that's Hannah Dunn. And then over to Stover, or they feed it down underneath. Ball gets knocked away by the Vikings and Hydorn to bring it down the floor. Hydorn gets it over to the left side to Hajdukovic. Back out high to Shipman at the top of the key. Takes it into the lane, over to Hajdukovic. Lays it up and in. 6-2, Vikings on top. Hainstead brings it down into the forecourt over to Reisimer. And they get it over to Hannah Dunn on the right side. Back out high to Reisimer. Over to Stover and on the left. Takes it to the free throw line. Back out to Montgomery at the top of the key. Over to Hainstead on the right. Takes it into the lane, puts a shot up. It gets partially blocked. Olsen grabs the loose change. And down the floor come the Vikings. Hydorn with it. Takes it over to the right. Gets it back out to Olsen. She launches a 3 at short. And off of Hajdukovic and out of bounds. 6-2, Vikings on top, 15:30 to go. Inbound pass, gets away from the Bulldogs. Hajdukovic gets it over to Shipman. She puts up the 3. No, Hajdukovic with the putback. No, she taps around the rebound, and finally coming away with it is done for the Bulldogs. She's got it over at the top of the key, takes it over to the left side. That's Hainstead. Back out high to Montgomery. Out of the right side. This is Dunn. Takes it into the lane, kicks it back out. That's Reisimer. Over to Stover and on the left to Montgomery at the top of the key. Feeds it into the lane to Dunn. And Dunn got tied up and walked with it. It'll be Vikings ball. Hydorn across the timeline. Feeds it over to the left side to Anderson. Back to Hydorn to Olsen in the lane. She puts it up and in. Turnaround jumper from about 13, and Olsen drained it. Down the floor come the Bulldogs. Get it across the timeline on the right side. Back out high to Stoverin at the top of the key. She gets it over to Hainstead on the right side, feeding it down to Reisimer, and she loses the handle out of bounds. It'll be Viking ball. And we have a timeout on the floor called by the Bulldogs, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
January is Financial Wellness Month. Weight loss and physical fitness are common New Year's resolutions, but your finances could probably stand to be leaner as well. Dairy State Bank will post tips all month on Facebook and Twitter to help you get your finances in shape. You can also access a library of information anytime in our online education center. Visit dairystatebank.com and click on the Education Center under the Resources tab. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Back here at Boyceville High School, Vikings on top 8-2 with 14:20 remaining in the first half. Vikings have the ball on the right side. Shipman gets it over to the left side to Hydorn, puts up a 3. No, rebound taken down by the Bulldogs, and clearing it out of the way is Hannah Dunn. Takes it down the left side, stops, kicks it back out to Stovern. Back to Dunn, free throw line extended left. Takes it down to the baseline. Tries to feed it into the lane. Ball gets taken away by Anderson. She's taking off down the floor, lays it up and in. And we have a Viking down on the floor. Molly Hydorn. Looks like maybe she might have turned an ankle or something. J.C. Bowlby to check in for. So Molly's not the only one that's not feeling quite right tonight. Want to send our best wishes out to Viking head coach Courtney Serrar, who's a little under the weather. This is why we have an old hat at the game, Joe Doucette, coaching the Viking girls tonight. Hainstead with it. Gets it over to Stoveren. Back out high to Montgomery. Over to the right side. That's to Hainstead. Now they get it down into the lane to Montgomery. Turns around, puts it up. It doesn't go. Olsen with the rebound. Feeds it over to Shipman, who brings it down the floor. Shipman takes it all the way down to the baseline. Puts it up. No. Hajdukovic with the putback shot. It goes in. Vikings up 12-2, 13:04. Bulldogs try to feed it into the lane. Ball gets knocked away, and J.C. Bovey has it for the Vikings. Stops at the top of the key. Thought about three. Gets it over to Anderson. Puts up a three. No. Rebound taken down by Olsen. It gets kicked back out to Anderson. Over to Shipman from the left side. Three-pointer. She hit the three. McKenna Shipman with a three-pointer. 15-2. Vikings on top. Down the floor comes Hannah Dunn. Feeds it over to Hainstead between the circles. Over to the left side to Stoveren. Stoveren back out to Montgomery between the circles. She gets it over to Hainstead on the right. Back out high to Riesemer. Now into the lane to Montgomery. Puts a shot up. It won't go. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Bovey with it. Gets it over to Shipman. Another three-pointer on the way. No good. Loose change chased down by Olsen. She's on the dribble, takes it into the lane, puts it up. No, we have a whistle, and we're going to get an offensive foul on Olsen.
Foul on Olsen, her first, team first.
That's the first foul on Ainsley Olsen. That's the first foul on anybody. Into the Viking lineup is Goodell and Nigaman for giving Olsen and Anderson a quick break. Bulldogs bring it into the forecourt. Abby Schlew on the dribble. Gets it over to Reason, or check that. That's Hainstead. Back out high to Montgomery. Gets it over to the right side to Dunn. Dunn tries to feed it into the lane, but overled. And it goes out of bounds. J.C. Bovey to bring it down the floor. 15-2. Vikings on the lead with 11:20 to go in the first half. Nigaman has it in the lane. Ball gets taken away from her by Hannah Dunn. And down the floor come the Bulldogs. Dunn on the dribble. Gets it over to the right side to Schlew. Schlew back out high to Montgomery. Then over to Dunn. Back out to Hainstead. They get it over on the left side. Hainstead feeds it into Montgomery. Montgomery drives the lane, and her shot is blocked by Hajdukovic. They get it over to Bovey, who comes into the forecourt between the circles. Gets it to Goodell. Back out to Bovey. Over to Shipman, cross-court pass to Goodell. Goodell puts up the three. She hit the three! Kason Goodell with a three-pointer. 18-2, Vikings on top. 10:22 in the first half. Hannah Dunn gets it back out high. Now it's back to Dunn. Out to Hainstead, and then over to Leslie. To Montgomery. This is Hainstead, then underneath to Leslie. Her shot is no good. And down the floor come the Vikings. J.C. Bovey with it. Feeds it over to Shipman on the left. To Nigaman. Out to Bovey. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul. Foul is going to be on Abigail Schlew. Her first team foul. So Vikings to inbound the ball. Shipman to toss it in. Gets it into Bovey. Bovey between the circles. Over to Goodell, back to Bovey. Bovey at the free throw line to Hajdukovic on the left. Back out high to Bovey. Bovey with a three-pointer off the front of the iron, no good. Hajdukovic with the putback, no. She tries it again and drew the foul this time. Foul's going to be on Haley Hainstead. It's her first, second team foul.
Foul on Leslie.
Oh, take that back. Foul is on Cora Leslie.
Hajdukovic, shooting 2.
So Jeanette Hajdukovic at the line for 2. First shot is up, no good. Anderson into the lineup for the Vikings, giving Shipman a break. Olsen waiting patiently. She's going to come in for Hajdukovic. Shot goes up. It's good. So Olsen in for Hajdukovic as the Vikings open up a 19-2 lead. Scoreboard still has, there it goes. I was waiting for the scoreboard to put that up. Bulldogs with the ball in the backcourt. Ball gets taken away by Goodell. Feeding to Anderson in the lane, putting it up, no good. Rebound, chased down by Olsen, over to Anderson to Goodell. Goodell puts up the 3, she hit the 3. Kason Goodell with another three-pointer, 22-2. Vikings by 20 with just about 9 minutes remaining. And down the floor come the Bulldogs. This is Hainstead at the top of the key. Fades it over to Dunn. Dunn thought about a 3, then gives it over to Hainstead on the left side. Down to Stoveren, and then into the lane. Ball gets taken away by the Vikings. Olsen with the steal, and Bovey brings the ball down the floor. Feed it over to Goodell, back to Bovey. To Anderson, back to Bovey. To Nigaman. Then out to Anderson, three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound being tapped around, and coming away with it are the Bulldogs. Schlew with it. Feeds it over to the right side to Hainstead. Hainstead out to Dunn. It's Hannah Dunn with it. Gets it over to Stoveren down toward the right corner. And the pass into the lane. Vikings take it away. Bulldogs having a lot of trouble getting it into the lane. Viking hands are everywhere. Anderson with it on the left side, takes it down to the baseline, out to Bovey. Bovey to Goodell, launches a 3 from the right side, and it gets jump ball. Shot was a little bit off, and Nigaman and Hainstead were in on the attempt at the rebound, and we have a timeout on the floor with the score. Vikings 22, Boyceville 2, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
We're back here at Boyceville High School. What would a girls' game be if I wasn't butchering a name somewhere along the way? Number 20 for the Bulldogs is pronounced Hannestead, and people are entitled to have their name pronounced correctly. Shipman with a shot from just outside the lane is no good, and down with the rebound is Hannestead. She feeds it down to the right baseline to Schlew. Then to Stoveren, back out between the circles. She takes it to the right side. Tries to feed it into the lane of Montgomery. We're going to get a whistle and a foul on Olsen for a reach. That'll be the second foul on Olsen. Second team foul on the Vikings. So the Bulldogs to inbound. They feed it into the lane to Montgomery. They get it back out to Dunn from the right side. Three-pointer on the way. Rebound taken down by Montgomery. Shot goes up, no good. And Shipman comes away with it for the Vikings. She comes down the floor from the free throw line, feeds it over to Olsen for three. No! Rebound chased down by Honested. Honested down the right side, takes it towards the lane. We're going to get a whistle and a blocking foul. And let's see, I believe it's on Shipman. It's her first, third team foul on the Vikings. So Boyceville will inbound it. Into the lineup for the Vikings is Bovey. J.C. Bovey replacing Olsen. Ball comes into Schlu, then out to Honested, back to Schlu down in the corner. Or check that, that's not Schlu there. That's Stevens. Back out to Honested. Honested takes it to the right side. Feeds it down into the lane to Montgomery, puts a shot up, no good. Rebound taken down by Hajdukovic, and she gets it over to Shipman, and down the floor come the Vikings. Out to Anderson, three-pointer on the way, no. And it goes out of bounds. It'll be Bulldogs ball. Vikings up 22-2 with 6:15 to go. That's Cassie Johnson Nelson on the camera there, giving you the unusual views. Rachel Honested between the circles. Takes it down to the baseline, puts a shot up, no good, partially blocked. Shipman comes away with it. She pulls up with a three-pointer, no. Rebound tipped around. Shipman comes away with it, puts up another three. That one she hit. McKenna Shipman makes it 25-2. Vikings on top. Down the floor come the Bulldogs. This is Schlu. And they get it out high, and the ball gets taken away by Hajdukovic. Down the floor come the Vikings. Shipman with the shot from three. No, Olsen check that, that's Nigaman got the rebound. Ball got tipped away after the putback attempt, and it goes out of bounds. It'll be Boyceville ball. Boyceville has it between the circles. That's Honested on the dribble. Takes it to the right, then back out high. This is to Montgomery. And the ball got tipped away, and we're going to get a foul called on Boyceville. That's a foul on...
Foul on Reismer.
Yeah, fouls on Reismer.
Correction, 21.
Schlu, that's what I thought. They put 24 up on the scoreboard. We have another whistle and a foul.
Foul on Honested.
Fouls on Honested. That's going to be her first personal. Inbound pass to Hajdukovic. She puts the shot up. It's no good. We have another whistle and a foul. This one's going to be... Well, the scoreboard says the foul was on Anderson, but I don't think she was in the game at the time. Well, maybe she was. She just came out. First personal, fourth team foul on the Vikings. Bulldogs with it on the left side. They feed it over to Stevens. The shot goes up, no good. Coming away with the rebound is Goodell. She takes it over to the left side. Gets it out high to Shipman, drives into the lane, pulls up with the jumper and hits it. 27-2, 3:53 remaining. And down the floor come the Bulldogs over onto the left side. Hannestead with it. Gets it out to Stoveren. Then to Stevens. Now down into the lane to Montgomery. We're going to get a pushing foul underneath. Foul's going to be on J.C. Bovey. By the way, with 4:15 remaining over in Osceola in the first half, Viking boys are trailing the Osceola Chieftains by a score of 18-14. Inbound pass goes to Stevens. Over onto the right wing now. That's to Schlu. Then back out high to Montgomery. Montgomery gets it over to Stevens on the left. Feeds it down underneath to Montgomery. Puts a shot up. It's no good. Rebound. And Olsen and Schlu go to the floor pretty hard. Possession arrow in favor of Boyceville. Shot goes up. No good from in the lane. And Boyceville comes away with it. Second shot goes up. This one's out of bounds. It'll be Viking ball. Shipman inbounds it to Bovey. Shipman has 10 points on the night so far. Bovey on the dribble takes it over to the left side to Shipman. Back out high to Hajdukovic at the top of the key. Feeds it underneath to Olsen. Lays it up and in. Ainsley Olsen with the two. 29-2.
Basket by Olsen.
Bulldogs with it. Hannah Dunn on the dribble. Tries to feed it into the lane. Nobody home. Olsen grabs the ball. Gets it to Shipman. Shipman to the free throw line. Takes it into the lane. Lays it up. No good. Hajdukovic with the rebound. And it's going to get tied up underneath their jump ball. Possession arrow in favor of the Vikings. Cora Leslie into the lineup for the Bulldogs, giving Montgomery a break. Goodell to inbound, gets it to Hajdukovic. Feeds it back out to Goodell. She launches a three, it's no good. Rebound, taken down by Schlu. Schlu comes down the floor, feeds it over to Stevens on the right side. Back out to Schlu. Schlu takes it over to the left on the dribble to the free throw line. Back out high. Now they get it over on the right side to Dunn. Dunn with a jump ball attempt. Didn't release the ball, though, and she got called for the travel. 29-2, just over 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Anderson gets it in to Goodell. They feed it over to Anderson on the left, back out to Goodell at the top of the key. Goodell over to Nigaman, into the lane to Hajdukovic, back out to Nigaman, three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound tipped away, chased down by the Bulldogs. Riesmer with it, gets it over to Stevens. Stevens takes it into the lane and we get a whistle and a foul. Foul's on Nigaman. That'll be her first. Sixth foul on the Vikings. And it's going to send Jaden Stevens to the line for 2 shots. Bulldogs will be in the bonus from this point on. First shot goes up and it's no good. Coming up at halftime, our Viking profile will be Ainsley Olsen tonight. Second shot's up and good. 29-3, Vikings on top. They feed it over to the right side to Olsen. Olsen out to Goodell. Goodell takes it into the lane, puts it up, and it's good. 31-3, Vikings on top. Now on the left side, ball gets tipped away, and down the floor come the Vikings. This is Goodell, feeds it over to the left side to Olsen, high, wide, and left. She's on the dribble, takes it toward the lane, kicks it back out, and then to Goodell from three. No, Hajdukovic tries to chase it down, it goes out of bounds. By the way, that score over in Osceola, it's Osceola 19 and the Vikings 18. Down the floor come the Bulldogs. They get it back out high. That's to Stoveren, and now over to Dunn. Dunn on the right side. Back over to Riesemer, and then they try to feed it into the lane. Ball gets loose and rolls out of bounds. It's going to be Viking ball. Nobody seemed to want to chase it. And down the floor come the Vikings. Under 20 seconds to go in the first half. Hajdukovic with it, gets it out between the circles to Nigaman, then back to Goodell. Goodell out to Hajdukovic, over to Nigaman, and Goodell, I don't think was aware of how much time was left because she was driving into the lane and didn't get the shot away. But we're at halftime with the Vikings on top, 31-3, and we have Viking halftime coming up right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
To get your lawn or garden to perform like you want, you first need to know about your soil. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
Found my heart out there in the open. Trees make you feel smaller. Can't help but get lost in. If I need a break, know where I'm going. Where the water's flowing, I'd rather be floating. If it's one thing that can count on to be free. If it's one place.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Time now for Viking Halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today we're going to get to know Ainsley Olson on Viking Profile, and Ainsley's a senior here at Colfax High School. And Ainsley, we know that you play basketball, or we wouldn't be here right now, but what are some other things that you do here at school?
I like to run cross country, and I also help out for the FCCLA.
Okay, and in fact, you're another one of those cross country runners that got that team to state.
Yeah, it was hard, but it was fun.
Now, I understand it was a little extra difficult for you because you were kind of gutting it through an injury, right?
Yeah, it was really hard.
Okay. Now, when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has it been for you?
I started when I was in 2nd grade. It was really fun because I had to play up with the older kids. So.
Okay. Now, what's the most important thing that you've learned playing basketball?
It's all in your head. Just don't get mad at yourself and play as a team, not a one-man sport.
And sometimes that not getting mad at yourself, that can be a really tough job, can't it?
Yeah, it's really hard, especially when you miss over and over again.
But, you know, they always say, if you've got a shooter that misses, just keep shooting.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. So when you're not playing basketball, you're not here at school, what are some other things that interest you or keep you occupied?
I like to ride horse.
Okay. Okay, and I understand you get outside a little bit and do some hunting in the fall.
Yep.
Okay. All right, rapid fire questions. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Cookies with ice cream on top.
Oh, 2 for 1. Nice shot. Okay. Your favorite color and why?
Red, because I don't know.
School colors?
No.
No? Okay. If you could have a superpower, what do you think it would be?
Invisibility.
Okay. All right. There's a lot of good reasons for that. But if you had that power of invisibility, of course you have to have a superhero name to go with it. So what's Ainsley's superhero name?
Watch out, you can't see me.
Watch out, you can't see Ainsley. Okay. Hey, guys, look down there. It's watch out. You can't. No, we can't see her. Okay. Do you have a favorite NBA or WNBA team?
No, I don't really watch them.
All right. How about college?
Not really.
All right. Is there a basketball player in the past, anywhere, any age, that has kind of inspired the way that you play and how you put your game together?
My sister.
Okay, that's Addison?
Yep, Addison Olson.
Okay, yeah, and she's just a couple years out of school, so, all right. That's a nice shout out to her there, by the way. We're talking with Ainsley Olson here on Viking Profile. And Ainsley, what are your plans for after high school?
I'm going to go to CVTC to be a physical therapy assistant.
Okay, very good. And how about a shout out to the rest of your family?
I'd like to shout out to my parents for letting me do the sport and paying for everything. And I also like to give a shout out to my grandpa for always being there to support me.
Does he show up a lot?
Yes.
Every now and then, yeah. Okay, and when people watch Viking games, what number are you going to wear and where are they going to find you on the floor?
14, and I'll be a post player.
Okay, so we want to thank Ainsley Olson for joining us today on Viking Profile, and coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
Let's go see your room.
That's not right. How was it? Is it good?
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter which you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
And we're back here at Boyceville High School, just getting ready to start the second half. Let's take a look at the first half scoring. First of all, for the Bulldogs, they have a total of 3 points, so they're being led by Hannah Dunn, who has 2. Jada Stevens has 1. For the Vikings, they're being led in the first half by McKenna Shipman with 10. Kaysen Goodell has 8. Jeanette Hajdukovic has 7. Ainsley Olson with 4. And Jada Anderson with 2. Vikings on top, 31-3. Hey, don't forget to join the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV on Tuesday, January 31st, as the Viking girls are going to travel to Altoona to take on the Altoona Railroaders in a non-conference matchup. Live coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:50, and that'll be followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. And the boys, don't forget to join us on NLWN-2 on Tuesday night, as the Viking boys will host the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. That is a Dunn St. Croix conference battle. Again, live coverage will begin with Viking pregame at 6:50, and that's followed by play-by-play action on NLWN-2. Speaking of the boys, they are ahead 23-21 as they're just getting ready to start the second half over in Osceola. We're getting ready to start the second half here, and the only change in the Viking lineup right now is J.C. Bovey is in there instead of Molly Hydorn, who at halftime I saw her on crutches, and so I don't think we're going to see her anymore tonight. Bulldogs get it over to the right side, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul as Cora Leslie tried to split the difference on the defense and fouls on Hajdukovic. It's her first personal and first team foul on the Vikings. Bulldogs get it in to Stoveren. She's on the right side, takes it out between the circles to Hannestead, then back over to Leslie, then down along the baseline. This is Montgomery, drives the baseline, feeds it over to Dunn, who lays it up and in. 31-5, Vikings on top. Early in the second half. Bovey feeds it over to Olson. She's high, wide, and left. To Shipman at the top of the key. Shipman to Hajdukovic. Back out to Bovey, to Shipman. On the left side, she drives into the lane, spins, stops, puts it up and in. McKenna Shipman with the shot, 33-5. Down the floor comes Hannestead and loses the handle, and the Vikings come away with it. Bovey on the dribble. Feeds it down into the right corner. Shipman with a 3. No. Rebound, tipped around. Taken away by Anderson, and she lays it up and in. Jada Anderson with another 2 points, 35-5. Vikings up by 30. Hannah Dunn with it. They get it out high, then over to Hannestead, and they get it underneath Shot goes up by Leslie. She's fouled by Hajdukovic. That's her second foul, second team foul on the Vikings.
Her second, team second. Leslie shooting 2.
Cora Leslie with the first shot. It's up and it's good. And her second shot. It's on the way. That one's no good off the back of the iron. Vikings 35, Bulldogs 6. And down the floor come Bovey. Feeds it over to Hajdukovic on the left side, to Olsen on the left wing. Back out high to Bovey. Bovey feeds it to Hajdukovic, to Shipman, free throw line extended left. Now she drives to the lane, kicks it to Hajdukovic, then they get it back out to Bovey. Bovey drives in, puts it up, no good. Rebound taken away by the Bulldogs. Down the floor comes Hannestead. She puts on the brakes at the top of the key. Ball gets tied up. We're going to get a jump ball. Possession arrow in favor of the Vikings. Anderson to inbound. She gets it to Bovey. Comes across the timeline. Takes it over to the right side. Anderson kind of tripped and ball's loose. Olsen's got it on the floor and we get a jump ball called. So down the floor come the Bulldogs. Hannestead feeds it over to the left side to Stoveren. Back out high to Montgomery at the top of the key. Back to Hannestead. Now she's on the right side. Free throw line extended. Stops. Gets it back out to Stoveren between the circles. Over to Hannestead on the right. Back out to Montgomery. Top of the key. Over to Stoveren. Into the lane. Hook shot there. No good. That was by Leslie, and the Vikings come down the floor. Bovey with it. Feeds it into the lane to Shipman, laying it up and in.
Basket by Shipman.
37-6, Vikings on top. Into the lane. And then back out again. This is done. She drives, puts a shot up, gets partially blocked. Montgomery with the rebound. Gets it out to Hannestead on the left side. Takes it out high. Feeds it back over to the left side to Stover and tries to feed it into the lane. Ball gets tipped out of bounds by Olsen. Goodell coming in. Bovey gonna have a seat. Hannestead gets it out to Leslie. Leslie to Stover and back to Leslie, and then over to Hannestead, takes it out to the top of the key. Tries to feed it in, bounces off a Viking, but picked up out there by Holden. To Hannestead, to Montgomery on the right side, to Stoveren, to Hannestead on the left. Back out high to Holden. Then they feed it down into the lane. Shot goes up by Hannestead. It's no good. Olsen with the rebound. And down the floor comes Goodell for the Vikings. Goodell feeds it over to the left side to Anderson. To Shipman. She drives the lane. She puts it up and she puts it in.
Shipman for 2.
39-6. Vikings on top. And we have a timeout being called by the Bulldogs. So with 13:35 left on the clock, it's the Vikings 39, Bulldogs 6, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
On those days when you're hankering for something that's delicious and nutritious, simply stop by FitFam Nutrition in Colfax. They serve Herbalife meal replacement shakes, metabolism-boosting teas and protein coffees. They taste as good as they sound, and they're healthy. Come and visit the Bentons and let them prepare for you a simply sweet treat, or something for the chocoholic or coffee lover in you. FitFem is a slam dunk. That's FitFem Nutrition, complete with one-on-one wellness coaching and business opportunities. 1020 University Avenue in Colfax.
Back at Boyceville High School, Rick Olson along with Cassie Johnson-Nelson on the camera. Lynn Nigaman keeping the numbers for us. Boyceville has the ball. They inbound it. They bring it over to the left side to Stoveren. Try to feed it into the lane. Ball gets knocked away by Hajdukovic. Over to Shipman to Goodell, and Goodell comes across the timeline. Goodell taking it over to the left side. Spins, tries to take it to the lane, gets it out to Shipman, over to Hajdukovic on the left. Hajdukovic gets it out to Goodell, stops at the free throw line, gets it out to Olson, over to Shipman, to Hajdukovic. Back out to Olson, launches a long three, no! And down the floor come the Bulldogs. Hannestad with it. She gets it over to the right side to Riesemer, and then the ball gets knocked away. Here comes Shipman on a solo flight. She lays it up and in.
Basket by Shipman.
41-6, Vikings on top. Ball goes to Holden, and they feed it into the lane. We're going to get a whistle and a foul on Hajdukovic. I believe that's going to be her third.
Foul on Hajdukovic, her third, team third.
Third foul on Hajdukovic, third foul on the Vikings this half. Boyceville to inbound. They feed it over into the right corner. That's done. On the dribble, she brings it back out high, lays it up, no good. Rebound taken down by Anderson. And down the floor come the Vikings. Taking it along the baseline is Olson. She can't get it to go in. Bryn Sikora in the lineup for the Vikings. Shot goes up. No. Rebound by Sikora. She gets it to Goodell. Goodell takes it over to the left side. Gets it over to Olson on the left wing. She puts it on the dribble. Takes it down to the baseline. Spins. Get it out to Sikora. To Goodell. To Olson. This is all on the left side. She's at the free throw line, extended left. To Nigaman at the top of the key. Feeding it into the lane for Anderson, and the ball got knocked away, and Boyceville comes away. 41-6, Vikings on top. They feed it down underneath, and that's Hannestad going up, and no good, but we get a whistle and a foul.
Foul on Anderson.
Anderson with the foul is her second, fourth team foul on the Vikings. Hannestad at the line. Shot goes up. It's no good. Came off the back of the iron. Second shot on the way. That one's also no good. Rebound taken down by Sikora. Gets it over to Goodell, and down the floor come the Vikings. Goodell takes it to the right side, gets it to Olson at the top of the key. Feeding it into the lane, and it was intended for Sikora, just a little bit long. He's getting a little bit ragged. Into the lineup, Hajdukovic for the Vikings. Olson takes a break. Bulldogs bring it down the floor. They get it over, and now to the top of the key. Long shot three is up and good. That's by Chelsea Holden. Chelsea Holden with the three, 41-9. Vikings on top. Nigaman with it. Gets it out to Sikora, puts up the three, and she hit the three. Bryn Sikora with a three-pointer. Down the floor comes Dunn. Feeds it off to the left side. This is Hellendrung. And they swing it back out to the right side to Dunn. Back out high to Montgomery. Over to Riesemer. Now back over to the right side to Montgomery. Montgomery trying to decide what to do. Drives the baseline. Ball gets blocked. Putback shot. No, next putback shot by Montgomery. She got fouled. And the foul's on Nigaman. It's her second. Fifth team foul on the Vikings. First shot is up. No good. Bovey into the lineup for Goodell. Olsen back into the lineup for Anderson. Montgomery's shot is up, and it's good. Into the lineup for Boyceville is Abigail Schlew. Montgomery takes a seat. 44-10. Vikings up by 34. 9:50 or thereabouts to go, and Vikings lose the handle on it, and the Bulldogs come away with it. Holden on it, gets it down low, and the Vikings steal that one, and down the floor come the Vikings. Bovey on the dribble, feeds it to Olsen, launches a three. She hit the three! Ainsley Olsen with a three-pointer, 47-10. Under 9.5 remaining. Feed it over to the left side, the Bulldogs do. They get it out high to Holden. Now over to the right side to Dunn. Down underneath the Schlew. Shot goes up, no good. She gets the rebound, doesn't get it. Ball loose on the floor, picked up by both Nigaman and Dunn. And we have a jump ball. Vikings with the possession arrow.
There are dollar slices of pizza, dollar hot dogs at the concession stand.
Sure, we're sitting here and they offer dollar hot dogs at the concession stand. And I gotta say, they've got really good hot dogs here. Bovey with it, gets it out to Olsen on the right side, to Nigaman down in the corner, back out to Olsen. That's the left side, by the way. To Sikora, she's on the right. Top of the key. Tied up there, gets it out to Bovey. Bovey between the circles, over to the right side to Olsen. Tries to drive the lane, ball got knocked loose, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul. Foul is on Helendrung.
Foul on Zoe Helendrung, her first, team first.
That's the first foul on her. That's only the first foul on the Bulldogs with 8:35 to go. Ball comes into Olsen, puts the shot up. And they're going to get her with a travel. Ball comes in, down the floor come the Bulldogs. They get it over onto the left side. Now back over to the right. That's Helendrung with it. Down into the corner. Riesemer with the shot. It's no good. Rebound gets stolen away from Hajdukovic, and we're going to get a travel call by on Helendrung. Goodell into the lineup. Bovey takes a seat. Olsen gets it into Sikora, quickly across the timeline, and
foul on Holden, her first, team second.
Foul being called on Boyceville. It's Holden. First foul on her, second team foul. Sikora inbound for the Vikings. Gets it into Nigaman, over to Goodell. Goodell gets it over to the right side to Olsen, feeds it into the lane to Hajdukovic. Hajdukovic puts it up and it goes in. Jeanette Hajdukovic with two more on the night. 49-10, Vikings on top. Montgomery with it. Long shot, three-pointer. Stevens with the shot. 49-13. Olsen on the dribble. She takes it into the lane, feeds it underneath the Hajdukovic, who lays it up and in. 51-13, Vikings on top. Montgomery with it. Feed it down into the left corner. Shot goes up, no good. Nigaman with the rebound. That was Chelsea Holden with the shot. She gets it to Goodell. Goodell straight down the lane, tries to put it up, draws the harm. So, Goodell going to the line for two.
Foul on Schlu, her third. Goodell shooting two.
First shot is up, and it's no good. We have some substitutes coming into the lineup for the Vikings. Anderson. And let's see, Sierra Shipman is in. Shot goes up, and that one's no good. Rebound taken down by Montgomery. Also into the lineup is Jordan Bovey for the Vikings. Stevens with it, gets it over to the right side, and we're going to get a whistle and a timeout call by the Bulldogs. So with 6:50 to go, it's Vikings 51, Bulldogs 13, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380. And we're back here at Boyceville High School as the Bulldogs have the ball. Vikings leading 51-13. 6:45 remaining in this one. On the right side, now they swing it around to the left side, the Bulldogs do, and that's Holden with it. Feeds it down underneath to Montgomery, who puts it up and in. We have a palindrome for the score, 51-15, Vikings on top. Vikings feed it over onto the right side to Sikora, to Goodell, and cutting across the lane was Anderson. She got tripped, and it's fouls on Montgomery. First foul on Montgomery, fourth team foul on the Bulldogs. Anderson getting ready to inbound. Ball comes in to Jordan Bovey, or check that was Sierra Shipman. Then out to Sikora. Anderson has it at the top of the key, over to Goodell on the right side. Now Jordan Bovey has it at the top of the key. To Anderson, she launches a three, it's no good. Rebound, taken down by Leslie. And Leslie feeds it off to Holden. Holden between the circles over to the left side. That's Stevens. Stevens into the lane to Leslie. Ball gets taken away by the Vikings. Down the floor. Obi had it, and it got knocked away from her and went out of bounds. (51-15), Vikings on top. Ball comes in to Sikora, puts up the bunny from the lane, couldn't get it to fall, and the Bulldogs come down the floor. 5.5 minutes remaining. Honested feeds it to Montgomery. Montgomery shot goes up and sits up there for a moment before it finally decided to fall down and in. Down the floor is Jordan Bovey. She's between the circles. Feeds it over to the right side to Sikora. Cross-court pass over to Anderson. Anderson drives into the lane. We're going to get a whistle and a foul.
Foul on Montgomery.
Falls on Montgomery. It's her second, fifth team foul. Vikings will have it under the basket. Nigaman to inbound. She gets it into Goodell. Goodell takes it toward the lane, gets it back out high to Sikora, over to Nigaman on the left side. Feeds it to Sierra Shipman, puts the shot up, it's no good. Rebound taken down by Leslie. And down the floor come the Bulldogs. Hannah Dunn with a long shot, no good. Rebound being fought for on the floor. Leslie picks it up, but the Vikings take it away. Jordan Bovey, she's trapped along the sideline, and we're going to get a jump ball call. Possession arrow in favor of the Bulldogs. 51-17, Vikings on top. By the way, over in Osceola, it's 43-37. Osceola Chieftains on top of the Vikings in the boys' game. Dunn feeds it down to Leslie underneath. Shot's no good. Rebound taken away by the Vikings. That was Sikora on the rebound. Gets it to Jordan Bovey. Over to Shipman. That's Sierra Shipman. Out to Goodell. Sikora to Bovey to Goodell. Back out to Sikora. She puts up the three. No. Rebound by Goodell. She lays it up. No. Ball gets tipped. It goes out of bounds. And last touched by the Bulldogs, so it'll be Vikings ball. Just under 4 minutes remaining. In the long shot, three-pointer went up by
Goodell.
Goodell got the three. In other girls basketball action from down in Durand, it's shot goes up and no good by the Bulldogs. It's the Elkmount Mounders leading the Durand, Arkansas Panthers 7-3 early in that one. Shot goes up by the Vikings and foul called. I believe it's on Leslie. Nope, I take it back. I think it's on Hannah Dunn.
Foul on Dunn, her first.
First foul on Dunn.
It's
going to send Kaysen Goodell to the line for two. Vikings will be in the bonus after this. First shot is up. It's good. .227 over in Osceola, and the Viking boys have closed it to 3, 43-40. Goodell with a shot. It's up and no good. Rebound, fought for, and Nigaman ties up Hellendrung, and it'll be Vikings ball. Sierra Shipman inbound for the Vikings. Gets it into Bovey. Shot's no good. Rebound. Bovey chases it down. Feeds it out to J.C. Bovey. Over to check that. That's Nigaman. She lost the handle, and the Bulldogs come down the floor. To Dunn. Then they feed it down underneath. Shot goes up. No good. Rebound. And we're going to get a foul. I think it's going to be called on Nigaman. It is. That's her third.
Foul on Nigaman, her third.
Sixth team foul on the Vikings. So now both teams will be in the bonus. Ball comes in to Montgomery. Tries to put up a shot. It's no good. And we have a whistle. And let's see if they call this a jump ball. It is. Dan Peckel over there, the official on the left side, was quick to indicate that that was a jump ball. Dunn to inbound for the Bulldogs. Feeding it in, and now they get it out on the right side to Stoveren. Over to Hellendrung. Back out to Stover now on the left. Takes it down to the baseline, tries to put it up. Kind of lost control. Ball gets chased down by Nigaman, and the Vikings have it. J.C. Bovey between the circles. Shot from the top of the key, in and out, no good. Rebound taken down by Helendrung for the Bulldogs. 2:20, under 2:20 to go. They feed it down low to Dunn along the baseline. She lost the handle, and out of bounds. It'll be Vikings ball. Sikora to inbound to J.C. Bovey. Over to Nigaman on the left side. Free throw line extended. Feeds it back out to Shipman. Then over to Sikora. Three-pointer goes in. Bryn Sikora with a three. 58-17. Stover lost the handle as she tripped. Sikora takes it down the floor, can't make the layup. And down the floor come the Bulldogs with Helendrung. She feeds it over to Holden. Holden over to the right side. That's to Dunn. They get it back out to Riesmer. Back to Stoveren. Lost the handle. It went out of bounds. It's going to be Viking ball. We have a running clock going on here. 1:09 remaining. And the Vikings have the ball. J.C. Bovey gets it over to Jordan Bovey, and she drew the foul. And the clock is still running. 1-on-1 situation. So this could very easily just about chew up the clock. Jordan Bovey with the 1-on-1. First shot is up. It's good. Second shot, it's also good. 60-17, Vikings on top. Down to the baseline, whistle and a foul. I think the foul is going to be on Sikora.
Sikora on the foul. Her first, team 7.
Seventh foul on the Vikings, but that's going to basically chew up the clock. Holden at the line for the 1-on-1. They stop the clock to let her get her free throws. Shot goes up, it's no good. Clock starts running, Vikings have the ball, and there's the buzzer. Final score in this one, Vikings with what we generally call a no-doubter, 60-17. Vikings record moves to 12-4 on the season, 7-2 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, while the Bulldogs go to 6-11 on the year, 2-8 in conference play. And we'll be back with Viking postgame right after this timeout. You've been tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
January is Financial Wellness Month. Weight loss and physical fitness are common New Year's resolutions, but your finances could probably stand to be leaner as well. Dairy State Bank will post tips all month on Facebook and Twitter to help you get your finances in shape. You can also access a library of information anytime in our online education center. Visit DairyStateBank.com and click on the Education Center under the Resources tab. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
If you've been admiring the freshly groomed look of a baseball field, or the stunning appearance of a golf course, remember you too can have along with the same beauty by simply calling Midwest Environmental Consultants. Their professional lawn care experts can bring your lawn to its full beauty and appearance. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your lawn the showplace of the neighborhood.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckle tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for Colfax Viking Girls Basketball. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Post Game, where we'll take a look back at today's Viking game.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Time now for Viking Postgame, with a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Girls game. And now, Viking Postgame.
And we're back here at Boyceville High School. Rick Olson along with Lynn Nigaman keeping all the numbers straight for us, and we'll have a look at those in just a moment. And Cassie Johnson-Nelson on the camera as the Vikings, don't bother trying to look at the scoreboard. They're the fastest at turning off the scoreboard of any school we go to. And the Vikings end up capturing this one by a score of 60-17. By the way, in the boys game, well, they just went to a commercial break, but the boys, last time I checked, were trailing by 3. And with under 30 seconds remaining in that one. And we're getting joined right now by, well, at least Viking coach for tonight. And, well, interim coach for tonight, Joe Doucette, putting on a hat that's kind of old and wrinkly, but what the heck, it came out right tonight, 60-17.
Well, you know, I've said, you know, when me and you have talked, Rick, I said, you know, I really like this team. They, you know, Courtney's done a great job and Carly's done a great job, and for me to sit in, it felt great, and you know, we missed Courtney terribly, but the kids responded and I thought played pretty well.
Well, and you know what? I'll bet there was a little bit of, hey, let's do this for Courtney.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff going on there. And the girls played well. A lot of points scored and tough defense. There were times in that first half when Boyceville couldn't even get the ball into the lane. Yeah. It didn't matter what happened. There was a Colfax hand in the way. Yeah.
Well, I think good teams are built on defending and rebounding, and I like that. I think it starts with Hajdukovic in the middle, and we spread out from there, but I saw a lot of good things. You know, got a little bit, you know, maybe a little ragged in the second half, but a lot of good things that we can build on.
But in the process of getting a little bit ragged there in the second half, you also got some girls in there that don't see a ton of playing time.
Oh, you bet.
Got some significant time tonight.
Yeah.
And that's going to help out in the long run.
Oh, you bet. You never know. I think the world of them 3 freshmen. I think those 3 are going to be pretty good. And you throw in Autumn and Kaysen, and they all got to play a lot. J.C. Bovey got to play a lot, and they all did a nice job tonight, Rick. So, you know, and that experience is so valuable, and it will help us in the long run.
Well, you did your daughter proud tonight. You got a win for the Vikings. You moved it up to 12-4 on the conference, and at least this Vikings team comes away with a win because the boys' game just went final, and they lost by about 5, I think it was. to the number 5 team in the state. So they battled them hard. They've got
did,
nothing to be ashamed of.
Nice.
So
yeah, Mark's got them guys playing well. Did you hear an outbound Durand girls score?
The last score we heard, they started late because they were running a doubleheader, and so they got off to a late start. So it was in the first half, and it was Durand on top, 11-7. So hey, with a little bit of luck, maybe that can keep going right.
Yeah, we're just going to try to keep working, Rick, and again, we like these kids, and we feel our A game, we can play with anybody. So we'll just get to work on Monday and see if we can get any better.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight, Joe, and take good care of that, Courtney, and we'll move on and play some more basketball on Tuesday.
Thank you.
And you're tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
If you've been admiring the freshly groomed look of a baseball field, or the stunning appearance of a golf course, remember you too can have along with the same beauty by simply calling Midwest Environmental Consultants. Their professional lawn care experts can bring your lawn to its full beauty and appearance. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your lawn the showplace of the neighborhood.
Join us at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV for exciting Colfax High School girls basketball. Our next game will be on Tuesday, January 31st, when the Vikings will travel to Altoona to take on the Altoona Railroaders. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN-TV begins with Viking pregame at 6:50 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV on Tuesday, January 31st.
Back here at Boyceville High School, let's take a look at the scoring that got us to that 60-17 final score in favor of the Vikings. First of all, for the Boyceville Bulldogs, they were led in scoring by Rachel Montgomery, who had a couple field goals and went 1 for 2 from the free throw line for a total of 5 points. Jaden Stevens put up 4 points, as did Hannah Dunn. And let's see, who else do we have here? Chelsea Holden picked up 3 points, and Cora Leslie went 1 for 2 from the free throw line for a point. Haley Hannestead had a couple tries from the free throw line, but didn't make either one of them. So that came out to 17 points. For the Vikings, they were led in scoring by McKenna Shipman, and Shipman hit 8 field goals, 2 of which were 3-pointers for 18 points. She was followed by Kaysen Goodell, who hit 4 field goals, but 3 of those were 3-pointers, and went 1 for 2 from the free throw line for 12 points. Jeanette Hajdukovic with 5 field goals and 1 for 2 from the free throw line for 11. Ainsley Olson picked up 7, and Bryn Sikora had 6. Let's see here. We also have Jada Anderson with 4 points. Jordan Bovey had a couple of points, and that came out to 60. So that was the final score